What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Modern Mortgage Show, where I interview mortgage professionals who share their stories and modern information about the industry. I'm your host, Rocco, and to end the week, my guest is Bob King. He's the area manager at Mid Valley Mortgage and out of Fair Oaks, California. Bob, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
I really appreciate you being here, Bob. I'm doing fantastic. So, why don't we start off the show? Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and give us a brief introduction?
Sure. Been in this business now since 1996. Started off as a loan officer, became a branch manager, then went to an area manager, then to being a wholesale rep, back over to the broker side, and then opened up a few branches for some nationwide lenders. And now I'm back on that broker side again, doing both real estate and loans.
Okay. So you've been through it all. You've been around.
Been around it. Yeah.
About 24 years in the industry, you said?
Yeah, since 1996.
So did you do anything before you got into the industry? Any type of work?
Yeah, I had a tile business. I did custom tile, marble, glass block, that type of thing.
Awesome. So what made you really want to get into the mortgage industry?
I actually had a friend of mine sucker me into it. In 96, the construction was kind of falling down, and I was just getting bad check after bad check, and I still had to pay my guys. So he got me on a good day one day when somebody had wrote me a $30,000 rubber check, and he offered me a position. And in that first month, I made over $20,000 and felt like I didn't even have to work. So
Wow.
like, yeah, I'm in.
So yeah, it seems like everyone had an interesting story of how they got into the industry. So basically what got you into the industry was the money. And then once you saw the money, you were like, I'm sold, I'm staying here.
Yeah, I liked it. I really liked the job. And I liked doing the loans. You know, I started out in the subprime field, starting doing those 228s that everybody hates. But at the time, 7.99 2-year fixed was a good rate, and it was killing a lot of debt for people. And I actually did convert probably 90% of them to a 30-year fixed. I would work with them for a year or two, get the credit in line, make sure, guys, you're not going to buy a house, with these loan rates are not going to stay like this, and your income's not going to double in 2 years. So don't buy $1 million house and think you're going to keep it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, interesting.
So, I had a really good turnaround rate of keeping people in their homes.
That's awesome. So as a loan officer, what we're going through right now, you've been in the industry for a long time, so you've been through a lot. How does this compare, and what are you doing to get past this uncertain period of time?
This has been a little more frustrating. The other stuff, you could kind of see what was coming and what was going to happen. The lenders now, it's hit and miss. One week we're shut down for 2 weeks, and then a few days later you might hear, well, we're going to change our guidelines a little bit. So then you're hoping what's in there is still going to be any good. I do a lot of self-employed, a lot of bank statement stuff. That's dead, as you know. We have quite a few jumbo out here. That's pretty much a null market. But all my straight A paper and my reverse mortgages and my VA loans are going great.
Okay. So like I was discussing on my last episode, forbearance is a pretty hot topic right now. Can you just explain to the viewers what that is and what your recommendation is?
Some of them are forgiven, some aren't. I think some people forget that money's going to come one way or another. Either it's going to be tacked to the end of the loan, or you're going to have to set up some kind of payment plan to make it up.
Yeah.
I'm not, if you can afford it, I'm not a fan of it. I've never been one of those that, like you have these guys, oh, don't make your house payment this month, we'll close on time. Well, I've seen that bite people too many times. So I'm not one to ever tell anybody don't make a payment.
Okay. So in other words, if you absolutely need it, then go for it. If not, then there might be other options that are better for this.
Yeah, I would go with any option other than not making a payment. But if you absolutely have to, I understand. And, I have been in that position where, whoops, the market went down again. I'm not going to make the payments. So I know exactly where they're sitting and how it feels. So
yeah, sooner or later, you're going to have to make that payment. So with, like you were saying, this is definitely different than other times. So with what you're seeing right now going on, what do you see? Do you have a prediction for what you see happening in the future?
I don't think rates are really going to go up like everybody. I have a bunch of people that think they're just going to spike up. I don't see that happening. They obviously aren't going to stay this low forever. And as you've seen, I'm sure you've looked that we change hourly on, I can be 3.25% to 2.875 in the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to bounce around for a while, especially I think till after the elections. Then it'll probably mellow out a little. Things will normal out. The house sales here have kind of dropped off. They're not dead, but you better make sure whatever value you think you're coming in at, I would take a little less because the appraisers aren't wanting to go out and stuff's just not moving as quick. It's sitting on the MLS forever.
So moving along here, you got into the industry a long time ago, 24 years, and you got into the industry for the money. But now that you've been in the industry, aside from the money, what is the most satisfying or rewarding thing about your job?
A lot of what I do is first time buyer, and I am a veteran myself of the Air Force, and I work a lot with veterans. I'm also an officer at the Elks Lodge, and if you're familiar with the Elks, we started the VA hospital. We're very big into giving money to the veterans. So a lot of what I do is talking to people that come back from deployment and stuff and don't realize that, yeah, you can buy a home. And especially with the rents that we have here in California, and the rates being so low, when you're paying $3,000 a month to rent a house and you can buy it for $2,200, it's pretty easy to get people to flip into a home. And it's nice to get people into a home.
Yeah. So first off, thank you for your service. And I was talking with John. He's out in California. He's out in San Diego. It's just sad because most vets don't know that they've earned this benefit, and they've earned the VA loan. So it's just sad because he said that right now there's about 11 to 15% of the vets are using their earned benefit. A few years back, it was about 4%. His goal is to get it to about 40%. But yeah, it just blows my mind how many vets don't know that they've earned this benefit, the VA loan.
Yeah, and I've come across that quite a bit, especially the younger ones. They don't, when they sign up and they go in, I don't think they really sit and realize the GI Bill, your benefit to get a home. But there's so much stuff that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would recommend that they go to their local VFW hall or American Legion and go talk to one of the people, or come to an Elks Lodge, because we have people that are designated to do nothing but help you and show you what benefits you have, what's available to you. And if you're having trouble with it, we'll jump in and help.
Yeah, that's awesome. So shifting gears here, when you first got started in the industry, you had a tile company, you said?
Yeah,
and
construction.
And a construction company, and your friend got you into the mortgage industry. What were some struggles or obstacles that you had early on when you first got started?
The biggest thing is I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just knew I knew a lot of people. I grew up in Carmichael here. My mom's chief of staff for Assemblyman Dick Floyd. So I grew up very well connected, a lot of networking, and that's what he said. You need to come in and do this. Everybody. So getting the loan was never a problem. Selling was never a problem. I was a sales trainer for many years. I traveled all over doing the Nita Quibine and the Dale Carnegie stuff and all that. So the closing and all that, that's not a problem. The struggle was I didn't really know what I was doing. So luckily they hired a great processor for me. And because 30 days into the business, I was given my own branch. And I kind of looked at them like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. They go, well, you're the only one closing anything. So apparently you do know what you're doing. So they said, we'll get you someone good. And they got me a lady named Bertha Vogel, who'd been in the business about 35 years. And I actually ended up learning the business from somebody who was a processor, an FHA underwriter. She'd been a retail person. She'd been a doctor and a funder and done it all. So I got very lucky there. And my learning curve was real quick.
So basically just fix that problem through experience, and she kind of acted as a coach or mentor towards you.
I just told her, well, I work for you. You tell me what you need, I'll go get it. I'm the monkey here. Just let's do it. So yeah, and luckily it worked out good because she, it taught me. The big thing is it taught me you better value your processor. Don't piss off the processor. You want your deals to close and be smooth. If they ask you for something, they're not playing games. They just need it. So
Definitely.
It's very simple. Just full package and you're good to go.
So let's say that you were, you needed to give advice to someone. So let's just say a loan officer who's just starting out in the industry. What advice or what tips would you give to them?
My biggest thing is get out there and you got to meet people. You have to network. That you go through the classes, you get your license and all that. And as everybody knows who's gone through that, has nothing to do with what you do once you have the license. So getting out there, get your name out there, give your card to everybody you meet. Everybody gets a card. Get one of theirs. Ask them what they do. You can't be bashful. And you're not necessarily selling and you're not pushing, but you introduce yourself and drop that seed. Give them a card. Mm-hmm. And go back to places where people frequent and come back to, because repetition will sell for you. Once they see you, they know you're not a flake. You're not going away. You didn't come in just to try and make a quick buck and bail out the door.
Yeah, your network, net worth. So basically, just get your name out there, get in front of people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
so
and if you got a good processor behind you and everything, they will support you 100%.
100%. So speaking of getting your name out there and things like that, in recent years, since you made your way into the industry, it's definitely taken off. So I'm talking about technology. So technology has really made its way into the industry. How would you say this has affected you and your business?
I'm still getting used to some of the technology stuff. I do like now that, I don't have to carry around a file that weighs 5 pounds anymore. I scan everything and just hand it back to the people. I don't, we kill more trees in this business. So it is nice being able to do everything electronically. I think it's made things a little smoother, a lot easier. Now at this point, I have a Galaxy Note 10 and I can pretty much do a application to funding on my phone, which, when I first started, I think we had the Nokia, no data. We're just coming off here. So, and fax machines were still being used. And it's made things quite a bit easier, a lot smoother.
Yeah, I definitely think it streamlines, things and automates different things and allows tasks to be done easier. Are there any modern strategies that you are using to scale your production, maintain better relationships with clients, or even just organize and systemize your business?
My thing is I do the networking thing. I make my loop every week. I go visit the same people because I've got a group over here that I do commercial and residential. So these commercial guys that own the auto wreckers and auto body shops and stuff, they know what I do. I do all their loans, but inevitably when I stop by, oh yeah, my buddy's looking to buy a house, or oh, my buddy wants to refi, they forget to call you or whatever. So the big thing, I'm still a beat the ground, I do some Facebook. I do have a Facebook page for Mid-Valley Mortgage, and I just try and give a little bit of information on there, but that's not my big pull. The big thing is I'll go downtown to the Capitol and go down to where I do, know quite a few people and just start shaking hands and asking for the business.
So personal visits are still very powerful.
I think so, because this type of thing, the electronics and that, it's nice, but people still like your face.
Yep, absolutely. Like I always talk about, like I was saying, technology definitely makes things easier, but there's always going to be that human element and human touch to this industry that will never go away.
Yeah, I think that's very true. And especially with elderly people. When you're dealing with elderly people, like I do reverse mortgages and stuff, they don't really trust doing stuff over FaceTime or Facebook or any of that. You got to get in front of them, sit down with them, go through the paperwork.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have a prediction for where you see technology going in the future and how it impacts the mortgage industry?
I haven't really thought about anything like that, other than it seems like people are driving around. When you do an open house, people are driving around. They're finding that open house on the phone now. More and more people, like with Rocket Loan and all that, are able to now do everything from the phone. So I think the mobile side of it's going to be the big change. And fairly soon, you may just start seeing applications with docs showing up. You can already do that.
Yeah.
But you aren't quite jumping onto that. But, next thing you know, your phone rings at you and there's a deal. So
do you use a CRM?
Do
you use a CRM?
Yes.
Which one do you use?
Sales Buddy.
Is it? I never heard of Sales Buddy. Tell me a little bit about it. What are some?
I don't use it real heavily. It came through me through Cross Country Mortgage. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
And I just have kind of hung on to it. It's a real inexpensive one. I was using, God, it was through Encompass, but there was another one that I was using through Encompass, and it just became too convoluted. And
Yeah, the best CRM is the one you use.
With.
So what do you use it for? Just to keep data and track your pipeline?
Birthdays, funding dates, everybody that way. Every birthday I hit them up. Their kids' birthdays, whatever it is, part of that.
You have automations, like automation set up and like drip campaigns or anything?
No, I was doing that. I had a company that I don't remember their name. I was paying them to do that, and I think I will be going back to that because it does work.
Yeah, definitely staying in front of people is crucial if we're talking like refis or anything like that. The average loan can result in 4 to 5 more transactions over the lifetime of a customer. So it's important staying in front of your past clients, because if you're not, keeping in front of them and just staying in front of them, someone else will, and someone else will, get your database. Last few questions. Go ahead. Did you have something?
I was going to say, there's a company that I use quite a bit. One of my lenders, United Wholesale Mortgage, and they have put together a constant contact type of thing that they're doing, and it seems to be real well. And I have a rep over there, Nikki Rini, who's absolutely amazing, one of the best reps I've ever had. And he is real good about, hey, Bob, I just saw, one of your clients here. If you refi him, you're going to save him a point. I look, but it's nice that he's going through and calling me and saying, hey, dude, you got some deals here. Go for it. Plus, they're doing the birthdays and the rate changing. It's emailing these clients and letting them know, but it looks like it's coming from me. So it's a nice deal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like your own little assistant, personal assistant doing that for you.
Mm-hmm.
So last few questions here. Let's go to the buyer side now. So you said you work with a lot of first-time buyers and you work with a lot of vets.
Yep.
Is there a bit like a biggest misconception that you see the vets have before working with you in regards to getting a loan?
They're afraid that their credit's not good enough. The credit score is not good enough. Is what I always hear. Oh, my credit's not that good. I had missed a payment 3 years ago or something. No, let me tell you what your credit is like. And then income. Some of them are afraid they're not making enough money. Well, when you show them that you're actually paying less for a house payment than you are for the rent, we get rid of that. So it's credit and income seem to be the two biggest things.
Yeah, I've just from talking with loan officers, I see to that question, many of them say definitely credit and down payment. But if we're talking the VA loan, it's a zero down. Do they know that it's a zero down?
A lot of them don't.
Wow.
Yeah, and they don't realize that, they're not liable for a lot of these fees when you come in and buy a home too. There's a lot of stuff that the vet can't pay. The seller has to pay. So, it makes it, they don't realize how little they can come in with and actually own a home.
It's very, very powerful. So last question here, if we're talking first-time buyers in general, what's the number one most asked question that you receive from them?
Can I afford to buy a home? That seems to be, on just the first-time buyer. I work a lot with the credit with them too, but I do a lot of the California down payment of those programs. So, and we have quite a few in California. So we have some that go up to 106%. And some are forgivable. So that's another misconception where they don't realize, you come out with $2,500 out of your pocket basically, and you're in a home.
Yeah, definitely first-time buyers is because they don't know coming into the process, and that's where it's really important to find a loan officer who educates them, advises them throughout the process, and basically holds their hand, because they don't know, and it's a scary investment for them if they're doing the right thing. So it really comes down to finding a loan officer who advises them throughout the whole process, educates them, because there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. There's everyone has their different situation and different circumstances.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't think any two loans have been the same.
Absolutely. Well, Bob, I really want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I had an amazing time speaking with you, and I really, really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Rocco.
And thank you to all the viewers for tuning in, and we'll see you again for the next episode next week on Monday. Bye-bye.